With Do Patti, Kriti Sanong debuts as a producer, and you can see how much she strains herself to offer meaningful experience to the audience. She has a lot of fans to please. There are girls who might consider her a role model. Sanong, then, cannot give them something lightweight, something casual, now that she has the power to tell a story of her choice in a way she wants. The more power the actors get, the more they end up believing that they have something important to say to the audience. But what about the medium through which they communicate their message? It isn't always treated with respect. Filmmakers shabbily insert some progressive subtext within their shabby films and think they have done great work. They don't look very different from those social media warriors who think their half-baked tweets would rid society of all evils. With Do Patti, Sanong wants to talk about domestic violence. If she had been serious about this subject, she wouldn't have produced a movie written by Kanika Dhillon. Dhillon is not a bad writer. It's just that she belongs to a pulpy universe, and when she dives into her domain with conviction, you get the pleasure of watching an incredibly demented dark romance like Haseen Dilruba. The shades of that 2021 romantic thriller are detected here when you once again find a woman and a police officer inside a police station. Do Patti, however, is not as stimulating as Haseen Dilruba. It shoots itself in the foot by carrying the burden of a social message. What's that message? It has something to do with breaking the cycle of abuse, women's empowerment. It ends with us recently addressed the same theme, but you don't need to go to Hollywood for this example when we have films like Street 2 and Vicky Vidya Ka Wo Wala Video in India. Bollywood's idea of feminism is quite shallow. Filmmakers express their support for women by either having a male character break into a speech or by putting male rage into female characters. Mediocre minds produce mediocre productions, and this mediocrity is widely celebrated by a mediocre audience. People hate servile female characters, women with no personality or personal ambitions who sacrifice their lives to care for men. But sell them the same package through an angry female lead, and they will hail the movie as path-breaking, call it a celebration of female rage, and whatnot. I am, of course, talking about Jigra. Do Patti's idea of girl power is also thin, silly, and laughable. On one side, it wants women to recognize red flags in men and break out of their influence, and on the other, it sees its female lead through a male gaze and sexualizes her. Shali, Kriti Sanong, is a product of male fantasy, a girl in shorts who shamelessly makes sexual gestures and passes flirty remarks. If Shali is a man's wet dream, then Soumya, Sanong again, is someone he dreams of when sober. When Dhruv, Shahir Sheikh, is told to find a homely wife, he chooses Soumya. She speaks softly, is meek, and dutifully completes all the household chores. Soumya is the kind of woman incels fantasize about marrying because they exude a virginal shyness. Shali and Soumya dress and behave differently, but both have one thing in common: they have a terrible taste in men. They are dumb. Do Patti simply reinforces an incel's notion that bad boys attract all the women. A girl who's fat-shamed early in the film looks seductively at Dhruv. Also, by creating a hostile mood between the sisters, the movie strengthens that belief about women's worst enemies being other women. Given that all men in Do Patti are either monsters or sorely incompetent, the women also end up being each other's friends. This sentiment unintentionally finds its way into the scenes involving Kajol, which are, ahem, written by Dhillon. The writer gives the actor some of the most terribly lame scenes you will see in a film this year. As a cop named Vidya Jyothi, or VJ for people who want to save their precious 2 seconds, Kajol looks uncomfortable. She struggles to be a comic relief because comedy doesn't come easily to her. So she does what a hack would do to tickle your funny bone: overact and make funny faces. As soon as a superior officer mentions that Vidya's surname means light, the electricity goes off. And when Vidya gets stuck in the doorway, she moans that she always gets stuck in her job, stuck with patrol duty, stuck wrestling with the Indian Penal Code, and stuck living up to her parents' ideals. The lowest point, however, for this character has to be those scenes where she makes voice notes. Forget women's empowerment. The film's concept of humor is dreadful.